CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted experts for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. We change lives and inspire true wealth, one person, one family, one business at a time. Shaw & Associates is a wealth management investment firm that specializes in taxes, serving as a fiduciary, putting your interests first. You can find more information or schedule an appointment by calling 530-674-1150 or on the web at shawassociatesinc.com. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
And we are grateful. My morning interview this morning is with Junior ROTC from Lyndhurst High, and we're going to find out about it and how you get involved and what it is. I got Lieutenant Colonel Childs, and he is the head honcho, the guy in charge, the big kahuna. You know, all those things.
Those are actually on my official resume.
Are they?
Right there. Absolutely. Those are definitely terms.
Right after your name,
Yep.
you just put those things on there. And you brought, I didn't realize this, but you brought Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Ulises Magana.
Hi.
Is that close?
Yeah, that's my name.
All right, yeah. Which, I'm thinking, man, in ROTC, we'll talk about it. That's got to be a big deal because you have officers and enlisted.
Very much so, yeah. On the JROTC side, it's basically a course of instruction where we are teaching leadership and management from a military perspective. Myself and my assistant instructor, retired Chief Master Sergeant Miller, she and I do our best in order to instill all of those skills and knowledge in these young kids, so that way when they graduate, they are best prepared for whatever it is they're going to do, whether it's military or otherwise.
And speaking of Chief Master Sergeant, you brought the Chief Sefora. Good luck with this, all right? Montejano.
Yeah, that's how you pronounce it.
It is? Almost sounds Italian. Montejano. I used to know the Montejanos. They were 3 blocks over from me.
Oh.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to start with you. And so, how did you get into ROTC?
So during middle school, I heard about it, about a program named ROTC. There was like one in Marysville. Like you can transfer there. You're like across country, I guess, And so I wanted to get into it, and when I was younger too, I also wanted to be enlisted in the military because I thought it was like fun and games until I heard more about it. I was like, oh, okay. And so then in my freshman year, I was trying to get into it, but my counselor said I couldn't for some reason, because of my schedule, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll try it next time. I did, and they still said no. And so during my sophomore year, I actually finally got into it, and now I'm here.
You're grateful. So are you in your sophomore year or senior year?
I'm in my junior year.
Oh, junior year. Okay. So did you know anything about the military? Did you have family that was in the military or anything prior to going into junior ROTC?
No. I don't really have any family members that are there in the military and stuff. I heard about it a while ago when I was younger.
So do you think that the military is going to be somewhere in your career?
Yes, definitely.
Nah. Get used to being called chief, but it'll be a little while before you get there.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen overnight.
At least a few months. At least a few months.
I'll be there soon.
Oh my gosh. And then Lieutenant Colonel, come on, who gets to get called? How old are you?
I'm 19 right now.
Wow. You know any lieutenant colonels at 19, Colonel?
Cadet lieutenant colonels, yes, I do. Actual lieutenant colonels, on the active duty side.
That took a while,
didn't
it?
Those are much rarer, much more rare.
I actually had a colonel tell me I had just made captain. He said, Fischetti, you will never make major. And I was like, all right, well, captain works for me, right? I'll stay there. So how did you get involved?
My freshman year, I had a friend who was in ROTC, and he would always tell me about it, and it sounded really exciting and fun. So my sophomore year, when it came around, I also got into it, and now I'm in my senior year. So I'm at AS3 in ROTC currently.
So what happens after this?
I'm planning to go straight into the military, into Air Force. I'm not sure if I want to do security forces or firefighting or cybersecurity. I'm stuck between the three. but I'm sure I'll make a decision before the end of the year.
Well, I'm telling you this: if you let them choose, you're going into security forces.
That is something that I have told them. No matter what, when you go in, make sure you get it in writing what you want to do. Yes.
Well, I got drafted during Vietnam. It's the only lottery I ever won, you know. But I called my recruiter and I said, "Hey, I got drafted," and he said, "No, you've already enlisted." I said, "Sergeant, I haven't." He said, "Get down here." So he signed me as delayed enlistment, called the draft board, and I'm telling you, in days, almost hours, I was gone. And so you have to put in for what you want. So I thought, still photo, air traffic controller.
Yeah.
Nope, I was a cop. However, I will tell you, I enjoyed it. It actually was a good field. So.
Well, JROTC definitely has some other advantages too. Aside, in the case of Cadet Magana here, because of the fact that he has done 3 years in JROTC, when he goes into the military, he won't be going in as an E1. He'll be going in as an E3.
What?
Yeah, so that means more money right out the gate.
That's cheating. I should have known.
Well, there's already going to be so much that he already knows. He knows the marching.
Yeah.
He knows the customs and courtesies. He knows about the hierarchy. So, I mean, he's already got all of that knowledge. So, yeah, the military will bring you in as an E3 if you've done JROTC.
So he goes to basic.
Goes to basic.
Just like everybody else.
Just like everybody else.
And then he'll have a tech school.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it's not across the base. But it could be. And so then when does he sew E3 on? Right after basic?
So the rules have changed from on occasion since I was in there last, but typically speaking, once you have graduated boot camp and you have graduated, for us anyways, we had you had additional rank that you could get by finishing your A school. But for these folks here, as soon as they graduate boot camp, they become E3 and they're making more money right out as soon as they have stepped off and graduated.
Yeah. When I graduated, are you ready for this? My first month's pay was $162 for a month.
For a month? That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
sad.
And they were like, "Well, you got a bed, you got free food,
3 hots and a cot.
three
Absolutely.
hots and a cot. You should be fine." However, I think it's great. I'm glad that you guys get a chance to do that. And the military now, the education system within the military and the encouraging and being encouraged to continue your education while you're in is amazing. It is amazing. And so where are you going to go in the military? You're going in? What do you want to go in?
After graduating high school, I want to get straight to the military. I want to do Air Force, and the job I want to do is Special Force.
Yeah. I've told her make sure that you are prepared to be punished.
Yeah. When I went back in after Vietnam, the Army told the Air Force, "We're not going to guard your bases. You guys can do that. You don't get to just stand on the tarmac with a M16." So when I went back in, we were training to do air-based ground defense. And now the training for security forces and that is much, much more intense. And so, all the training for the stuff now they're serious. They want you trained well. So.
Well, I've had quite a number of cadets that went into the military. In fact, most recently, just last year, I had 2 out of one of my flights alone who went straight in, and they wanted security forces. So off they went.
Well, it is. They tell you you're the cream of the Air Force. It doesn't mean that everybody will treat you that way. But it's a great job. Every time I go anywhere where I'm going on base and I see the guys, I'm thinking, man, I hated Gates.
Yeah, well, I can attest to this, and from myself, all of my friends. Every single job that you're doing it's going to have the highlights, and then there's obviously going to be the parts that are less exciting and a little less stimulating. So.
Yeah, I used to tell them walking around the aircraft, do you know how many rivets are in the wing of a B-52? It's a very unique job, but it's so important. And so I always thought, well, what I'm doing matters. That was kind of, it. So what about course of study, Colonel? What kind of things? You said that they do leadership and everything has the military
Indeed.
principles. So what kinds of courses of study do you have for them?
So in JROTC, there are a number of courses that we're teaching, but one thing that stays true from year to year, regardless of when the cadets come in, is going to be teaching them the leadership and the management from that military perspective. It's teaching them drill, right? How to march, customs and courtesies, teaching them about the military, the hierarchy, the history, flight, because of course, Air Force JROTC, flight is obviously a central focus on that. But the core curriculum that we're teaching also will change each year. So those are the things I mentioned are the things that never change. But one that does change is, for example, this year I'm teaching the course on survival. So if the cadets were ever, God forbid, in a situation where they were in a survival situation, whether it's, stranded somewhere, whatever the case is, they are learning things like how to make fire, how to make shelter, how to stay warm, what are the priorities of a survivalist, staying cool in extreme heat, staying warm in extreme cold, all of those things that are going to help them to survive that situation. And next year will be a different course of instruction, but it rotates across a 7-year plan, basically. So they could be taught anything from history of flight, the science of flight, they could be taught astronomy, they could be taught survival.
Wow.
We've got a whole bank of courses that will change from year to year. So that way, every single cadet who comes in, if they come in as a 9th grader, they will never repeat the same course by the time they get to graduation out of 12th grade.
You don't happen to teach them land nav, do you?
Oh yeah, actually, absolutely. I don't know. Do you guys know how to find a bearing with a compass and a map? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and very soon they're actually going to get a chance to exercise all. It's not just a course that's being taught in a classroom and they get tested on that. No, they're going to go out to, I've got 140 acres and we're going to go out there, we're going to set up camp and they're going to practice their land navigation, shelter building. They're going to find food out there in the forest. Yeah, they're going to practice all of these things.
All right, Colonel, how do I get involved?
Yeah, you said.
I taught land nav, actually wrote a land nav book because it's a perishable skill.
Very much so.
And so it's very important that if you do it. But everybody that I've taken through land nav, they love it. They love the idea that they can, find a way. Because you get a little off and you're...
Well, you'd be amazed at just one of the fun things that I find about being an instructor for JROTC is when you show them something that they've never seen before and then they exercise it for the first time. Like most recently, because it was a part of land navigation, well, what do you do if your compass is broken? So we showed them how to make a compass using a needle, a floating leaf, a mud puddle, and you charge the needle. And watching as the needle actually turns, as if by magic, points to the north and then stops. I mean, you get to see the wide eyes, and they're like, wow, that actually works.
How to tell time with a stick.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. How to find your directions, absolutely. Navigating with the moon and the stars as opposed to the sun. Yeah, it's all of that. And getting them to recognize, hey, this is something I could actually do. It's a very rewarding part of the job.
Yeah. Gosh, I know you guys did all that. That's awesome. That is awesome. So what's your favorite part so far of having been in junior ROTC? What has been the thing that you went, I love that more than anything?
We'll start with you, Montejano. Go ahead.
My favorite part about ROTC is like the uniforms, because I get to show off that I'm part of ROTC.
Yeah. And you look good in it. I'm just saying.
Thank you.
You wear it well, and that's important. I had a TAC officer, because everything was Army, and I had an Air Force uniform. He said, Fischetti, you look good in that uniform. And I said, Captain, I make this uniform look good. It's the person behind it. Everybody can wear it, but it's knowing who you are. It makes a big difference. So what was your favorite?
My favorite thing is the teamwork and coordination you get to have with your peers, your other cadets. Every day is different. Like, Colonel gives us different challenges. Like, just the other day, we was on planks trying to get across, and we're like all on the same plank with a foot. It was really fun, like trying to get across. It just has little like teamwork challenges that helps get us closer to our cadets, our peers.
I like it. So, Colonel, how long have you been with this group?
Well, I actually only recently taken over the program at Lyndhurst. So my predecessor before me was Staff Sergeant Volkman, and who was working with Colonel Stambaugh. So those guys got a great program going, and I'm hoping to be able to take what they built before and then make it even bigger and hopefully maybe even make it a little bit better.
So I think you were telling me, how many students do you have in it now currently?
So right now I've got 54 cadets spread out across 5 different flights, and hoping to, I know I use that word a lot right now because I've got some strategies I'm going to be experimenting with in order to get the word out there and to let these kids know, hey, this is a opportunity for you that you can use, whether you go into the military or not. The skills and the knowledge, it's all something that's going to be useful, whether you going to college out of high school, whether you're going into a job. The military obviously would be very beneficial, but yeah, I'm trying my best to get the word out there to all of those prospective cadets, so that way they have this as an option and they know that it's something that not just a learning experience, but it'll be fun for them at the same time. Get to find out that inner leader that they didn't realize they have.
Yeah. There was a Navy commander, and it's a famous speech that he gave called "Make Your Bed."
I know that one very well. Yep, I do.
And it's like, so my grandkids, when they come up, I'm always like, you guys need to make your bed. Hey, don't leave that glass sitting there, right? In other words, you learn through the course of it that probably the first and most important is you're part of a team. It's not about you. It's about those people next to you, right? And especially when it comes to leadership. You don't get the lead from the rear.
Very much so.
And so given the opportunity, and I tell people all the time, we have so many incredible young people in this area. Incredible. We always hear about the ne'er-do-wells. I love it when, like, you guys can come on and say, well, we're doing well, and we're going to do better because we've accepted that there is more. So how does somebody get into this program if somebody's in school and they want to get in? And you did mention they can transfer in as well. So how does that work, Colonel?
So if you're a Marysville student, we have crosstown agreement with Marysville High School. So we've got some cadets that will, in the first thing in the morning, they'll catch a bus from their school over to Lyndhurst. But to get into the program itself, really the cadets, or the prospective cadets, just need to talk to their counselor. When they are signing up for their classes, because they're coming into high school, they're going to be 9th grade, 10th grade, it doesn't matter what grade they're in, all of them, you can talk to your counselors, and your counselors will sign you up for JROTC. And then from there, it's just a matter of, you're off and running at that point. So just talk to your counselors is really the way in.
And so they come in, and these are the first 2 they meet, huh?
Well, yeah, these two, or I've got an entire corps of senior cadets, but Cadet Magana here is one of my more recent Cadet Corps commanders. He has recently stepped down, and his successor took over, but he is now what's considered my special advisor. So if I've got a special project that needs to be handled, I will turn to my special advisor here, and then I will say, okay, here's the project, here's when it has to be done, so go to it. And then, obviously monitoring along the way. It's a great way for, again, the cadets to be able to flex those burgeoning leadership wings, as it was, so and see how far they can go with it and give them some guidance along the way.
Because the potential of them, like both of you have said, hey, we're going to go in the Air Force, and you teach customs and courtesies and things like that. The military is full of acronyms. I mean, everything is an acronym. So do you guys have to go over those as well? This is what that means, right?
Yeah, so if there's one thing that's absolutely true is that military people do speak in acronyms, and I've gone over some of them with them. If I was to try and teach that, I'd be like teaching a foreign language is what it would be. But I will give them a lot of the common ones that we're that they might encounter when they run into. Also, in particular, for example, too, like learning the ranks. You can spell out the word captain, for example, but that's not likely how they're going to encounter it if they're seeing it on a piece of paper or what have you. So we'll cover those things as a part of their military and hierarchy education within JROTC.
And they have to learn important ones like DFAC. You need to know.
Depending on which service, again, those acronyms will change. So
I know. I when I went back in, I called it the Chow Hall, and they said, we don't call it that anymore. And I said, I do. That's where the chow is. Give me, that's where I'm going to eat. It's called.
Yeah, they officially like to call it DFAC, however, comma. I will tell you, at least from the time when I was still, active duty and whatnot, that is definitely, chow hall was still what we called it. So,
yeah.
Some things just die harder than
they call
others.
it the gidunk, don't they? Isn't that what they called it, or something like that?
In the Navy, yes, gidunk is when you go to the ship store and you're buying candy bar or whatever the case is. That was the gidunk there. So it was,
first time I heard that, I went, what? Because we were with everybody, all the services were together. All right, so Chief, if you were going to invite somebody to be part of Junior ROTC, what would you say to them?
Can you repeat that, please? I'm so sorry.
So if you were going to invite somebody to be part of ROTC based on where you're at, what would you say to them? How would you invite them?
I would probably say, hey, you should join ROTC. It's not like a strict military class. It's all about leadership and confidence and responsibility. It's not a bad class, I promise.
Good job. Good job. All right, Colonel. Tell me the same thing. How would you invite somebody to be part of ROTC?
If you're looking to better yourself, I say ROTC is definitely the way to go. If you want to be more confident, it can do that for you. If you want to be more physical fit, it can do that for you. It helps with all kinds of things. There's no military obligation, so even if you don't want to go into the military, you can still go in, have fun, learn the skills, get confident, and still live your civilian life.
Colonel Childs, you have done well.
I'm trying, but these guys, they had a good program. I'm just trying to take it from there. And it's a good group of cadets. And the great thing about it is every single one of those cadets that is in JROTC, they're there because they want to be there. It's not, I'm not having to fight because the student had to do it. They all want to be there. And I try to keep things as interesting as possible.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, and I agree with you. It's all about the uniform. Come on. You wear that. I'll go to it on Veterans Day because I still fit in mine, and it's like I love putting it on. I just tell people it was so easy for me. When I went to my closet in the morning, I knew what I was wearing. Right? You knew exactly what you were wearing.
It's still a great part of this new job here is getting to not have to. What am I going to wear today? Oh, wait, that's right.
Yeah. I don't have to figure out which tie.
Exactly.
All right. Thanks again. Appreciate you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 70 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted experts for